All right, it's time to call it. You're at a crossroads. You've been trying so hard to lose fat and build muscle. You might be able to squeeze in a few workouts here and there, but it's never consistent because your schedule is just too busy. I mean, there just doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day to get everything done as it is. Well, trust me when I tell you this. It's not impossible. There definitely is a way. It really just comes down to how you look at and structure your workouts and your nutrition. Most of you busy guys out there who are crushing it are constantly on the move and have very little time for the gym and the kitchen. I mean, you have a life outside of work, so why the hell would you want to spend it working out and making meals? It just doesn't make sense. Well, that's where I come in. Thank God you got me. My name is Gabe Heffler. I used to struggle with managing my schedule around my fitness, and I work directly with busy, driven, ambitious, professional, and entrepreneurial men just like yourself who care about their health and care about their fitness. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact strategy that you can use to drop those pounds and stay productive. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right. First things first, let me just reiterate this. It is possible. Plenty of busy professionals are already lean, strong, and fit, and don't live inside of the gym. The problem is that most fitness advice assumes unlimited time, perfect weeks, and zero stress. And since you're a busy professional or entrepreneur, that's just not you. And that means when real life shows up, those plans fall apart. Not because you failed, but the plan was just fragile. It just wasn't right for you. Most people think discipline means doing everything, no matter what. I mean, balls to the wall. But for busy professionals, real discipline looks different. It's not training 6 days a week for 2 hours a day, feeling exhausted. It's not eating aggressively low calories. It's not restarting every single Monday. Real discipline is choosing a strategy you can repeat even on your worst weeks. That mindset shift is everything. And that's where DLGM comes in, or as I like to call it, DILGM. DILGM stands for do less, get more. DILGM is a minimalist fat loss system built specifically for packed schedules. And I'll be honest, it can make you feel lazy at first. It sure as hell made me feel lazy when I first started it. That's because we've been taught that more workouts, more rules, and more effort automatically means better results. But when time is limited, doing too much is usually the fastest way to burn out. So, DILGM strips everything down to what actually matters. This idea, it's not new, and it didn't come out of nowhere. Years ago, I came across a guy by the name of Greg O'Gallagher. And what stood out to me about him wasn't just how he looked. It was actually how little he trained compared to most people. He wasn't in the gym 6 days a week. He wasn't living out of Tupperware, only eating chicken and broccoli and rice every single day. He wasn't making fitness his entire life. He lifted 3 days a week, he kept his nutrition simple, and he stayed lean all year round. That completely changed how I looked at fitness altogether. Because up until that point, I thought results required more, and I mean more time, more rules, and more sacrifice. But what he showed was this. If you focus on the highest return actions, you can get better results with less effort. Once I applied the same thinking to my own life, everything changed. I stopped training like I had unlimited time. I lifted a few days a week. I simplified my nutrition. I stopped chasing perfection. And most importantly, my weight started to drop. Not because I did more, but because I finally did the right amount consistently. That's what eventually became the DILGM strategy. Here's why this works so well for busy professionals. DILGM builds fitness around your life, not the other way around. It assumes some weeks will be busy, some workouts won't be perfect, some meals won't be ideal. And instead of fighting reality, it plans for it. That's why it survives your worst weeks, not just your best. When it comes to training, this stays simple. You only need 2 to 3 workouts a week and about an hour per session. Focus on compound lifts, squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, bent over row, simple splits, and progressive overload. You're not trying to exhaust yourself, you're trying to be consistent. And let me tell you, consistency always beats exhaustion every single time. Okay, let's talk about the most important thing, nutrition, because this is where fat loss actually happens. You don't need extremes, you need a moderate calorie deficit. How do you find that deficit? A good place to start is to estimate your maintenance. Here's how you do that. What you do is simply take your body weight or your goal body weight and multiply it by 15. If you got 15 to 20 pounds to lose, then you subtract 500 calories from that number. And if you got more than 20 pounds to lose, then you subtract 700 from that number. Plain and simple. Now, that's a good starting point, but it's not going to be forever. You're probably going to have to adjust it. So from there, you do just that until you find what's called your nutritional sweet spot. That's where fat loss is steady, performance stays solid, hunger is manageable, energy is stable, because you're not guessing, you're calibrating. And if you want help finding that sweet spot and applying the Diligum strategy to your own schedule, there's a link down below this video where you can schedule a coaching call with me, and I'll get you squared away. Now that you know how many calories you should be eating, the next question is this: where did those calories actually come from? That's where macros come in, or macronutrients. So there are 3 macronutrients that we're going to be focusing on. Technically there are 4, but let's focus on these 3. Protein, carbs or carbohydrates, and fat. Each one has a certain function. Protein preserves muscle, supports recovery, and keeps you fuller longer. It's the most satiating out of all 3 macronutrients. That's why it's the most important. Carbohydrates fuel workouts and daily energy. Fat supports hormones, joints, long-term health, and digestion. Now let's talk about how many or how much of these macros you should be eating on a daily basis, meaning how should you split your calories up into these macros? Okay, so I want you to understand, protein and carbs both have 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. Protein should be about 1 gram per pound of body weight or goal body weight. Fat should be about 30% of your total caloric intake, and the rest should be carbohydrates. Once calories and macros are handled, there's one simple habit that makes all of this way easier to stick to. Every meal should include a small serving of cruciferous vegetables or fibrous vegetables. You don't need anything extreme. You don't need giant salads. In fact, you don't need to track calories from vegetables as long as portions are reasonable. The reason why is because vegetables are low calorie, high volume, and high fiber. They help with fullness, digestion, and adherence, and they make this whole process easier, not harder. Now, nutrition, it's not just food. How you feel day to day is also heavily affected by hydration. That's why it's so important to drink water, and plenty of water. Water impacts energy, digestion, training performance, and appetite. When you're underhydrated, fat loss feels way harder. So, drink water consistently throughout the day, especially if you train, sweat, or eat fewer calories, meaning you're in a calorie deficit. Now, here's where a lot of people mess up. They drink more water but completely ignore sodium, because it's one thing to drink a lot of water, but it's another thing to actually feel the hydration effects. Sodium has electrolytes, and those electrolytes allow your body to actually use and retain the water you're drinking. They play a huge role in hydration, muscle contractions, nerve signaling, and training performance. If sodium intake is low, you can feel sluggish, lightheaded, weak in the gym, or just flat overall, even if you're drinking plenty of water. So yes, use salt, plenty of salt. And this doesn't mean that you should dump a bunch of salt onto your food and make a mountain out of it, or, eat it with a spoon. Of course, I'm being facetious. I know you're not going to do that. All I want you to do is just, make your food taste good, season it like normal. Unless you have a diagnosed condition or a strong family history of high blood pressure, sodium isn't something that you should fear and stay away from like the plague. It's something that you actually need. Now, once calories, food quality, hydration, and sodium are handled, the rest is just logistical. You don't have to hit your calories perfectly every single day, because that's going to be a massive headache. Being within 100 to 200 calories is completely fine. Fat loss comes from consistency, not precision. In the morning, keep things small and simple. For example, you can have a protein shake, or maybe some eggs, or a banana with protein. Okay, just a small meal. Then eat 2 medium-sized meals for lunch and dinner. Now, not everyone has time to cook because, like I said, you're busy, you're constantly on the go. If you do, then meal prep. If you're eating out, order the item with the most protein. Okay, so from there, eat slowly, finish the protein and vegetables first, then eat the carbs. Okay, this is important. Eat until you're satisfied, not full. But no matter what, finish the protein. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so from there, adjust the portions and timing until all of this fits your life. Now let's talk about what happens when things aren't perfect, because I guarantee you they won't be. At some point, you're gonna slip. We're all human, and we got lives. You'll eat more than planned. You'll miss workouts. Life is gonna happen. So here's the mistake that most people make. They mess up once, then they start mentally giving up, they make rationalizations, then they go on this massive binge and they just quit altogether, which you obviously don't want to do. But fat loss doesn't work day to day. It works on weekly averages. 1 pound of body fat or adipose tissue is roughly 3,500 calories. Split across a week, that's about 500 calories per day. If you hit that deficit for 6 days, that's already a 3,000 calorie deficit. If the 7th day you eat at maintenance or a little bit above, you're still in a weekly deficit. So you really got nothing to worry about. You're still losing fat. And those extra calories often go towards muscle recovery, muscle building, and better energy the next day. So when you mess up, don't spiral, don't get guilty, acknowledge it. Then go back on track at the next meal. Progress will slow sometimes, not because calories need to keep dropping, but because stress builds and recovery dips. You do the circle method by briefly and temporarily eating more to recover, and then return to fat loss with a calorie deficit in a better position. If you're busy and frustrated with fitness, the answer isn't more effort. It's better strategy. Dilgum, do less, get more, lets you lose fat without burning out or quitting when life happens. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you got value from this video, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe, and be sure to turn on the bell notification icon so that you won't miss any more simple, no BS fitness content. And if you want personalized help from me, click the link down below this video to schedule a coaching call, and I'll see you on the inside. Peace.